her as Lubu for all my life that I have known her. And welcome, a very, very warm welcome. And she's going to take us into this journey of books and peeping into how they are done, how many authors are all around us, and how many more people we can, actually know and read. So, Lubu, a very, very warm welcome.
Thank you, Sonia. How lovely it is to be here. Yeah, I have children whose parents may be watching this.
Lubu, I think your connection. Just check if the door, because we can't hear you very well.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little better. Because if we miss out the things that you're saying, then we just miss out on.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, better. Yes, better.
Yeah. I mean, I find that just incredibly fun, and part of the excitement about reading is discovering new books. Discovering different authors, different genres, different you know places you can travel through books. So yeah, I've pretty much most of my professional life now deals with not just writing and editing, but also helping parents, children, teachers discover a book that will sort of resonate with them, that they want to pick up. Because I mean, everyone likes to read different kinds of books. I mean, one book is not good for everyone. Some may like graphic novels, some may like poetry, some may like historical fiction. So I like to lay it out like this big buffet and say, Acha, would you like to try this, or would you like to try this? So I like to do this in a festival that's called Peek a Book, that I launched in 2015.
I was just reading about it.
Basically, that's what I do at Peek a Book. uh,
So, what a beautiful concept this is. I was reading through what you sent us, and it said such lovely things in the sense that um, travel through stories, jump into a book, fly into the far reaches of your imagination. And one thing which I found very interesting was pick a book at the Royal Opera House, which actually perhaps connects the authors with the children. And today when I was sitting down and actually working for getting just my thoughts into place, I realized that in my kitty of my old books, because I don't have a child anymore at home, and we kept giving away our books, I don't have so many Indian authors.
so it's a discovery for me as well. It's the whole journey of how I got here is a story of discovery. Many years ago, when I was in the US as a student, I was getting my master's in mass communication, and was sort of I was I was putting myself through school, and so I was working at the university daycare center, where um, I was I was helping the teacher with stuff because I had to pay my rent. We had a whole different lifestyle where we did everything for ourselves, not like like that. Um, I when I went for a job at this daycare center, I was just incredibly amazed at the incredible variety of children's books. Because growing up, we had like Neem Sarifin, like a Enid Blyton or a Nancy Drew or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I was a voracious reader. So in fact, I was like those kids at the daycare center. I was like, no, I want to read. Give me this book. I like this illustration. I love this author. So I started just looking at children's books, and as a writer, I marvel at the technique of writing, because it's really hard to write little as compared to writing lot and express so much. And I love the pictorial. So when I came back, technically I was a journalist, but I ended up sort of moving into children's publishing. And my last job was at DNA, publishing a magazine called DNA Yeah, which is a really popular children's newspaper. And at DNA Yeah, they used to send us books for review. And right about that time, that was the 90s, when a couple of independent publishers in India had just started publishing Indian children's books. You know, and there was Tulika, there was Tara, there was Fairy Tales, all of these,
Pratham.
Pratham,
Yes.
all of these were just starting to publish, independent children's books. And even the mainstream publishers, Scholastic and all, were starting to get Indian authors to write for them. So I was just amazed at the kind of books that were coming out. And I was just thinking that I knew so little. I was lucky enough to be in a job where I could write about them. But I said, no, we need to do something, even more. We've got to create awareness about these books. So I spoke to a friend of mine. She's a beautiful lady. She's my mentor, Linda Miller. She was a festival director of the Kalagura Arts Festival. And I
Okay.
said, now please, will you let me do like a section on children's literature? And she said, yes. I'm like, oh, okay. She said, yes. It was so cool, So then that was the first year when we said, okay, we got authors and we collaborated with a beautiful little bookstore called Kitab Khana in Mumbai. And we started having, for the first time, author sessions where authors could come read their books. The whole concept, now we take it for granted, but it was totally new at that time. To have these sessions,
Yes.
they could talk. I mean, having said that, I must pay homage to the mother of all, children's literature festivals, which is Ukuru in Delhi. That was the only one that was existing at that time. And then there was in Mumbai, in Salagora. So
Okay.
yeah, it was exciting the first year. I mean, I must tell you, it was very scary. Will people come? Will they not come?
Because can I kind of just sort of your voice is breaking. Just check your connections once. Otherwise, what happens is that the voice comes and goes, and everybody, So just check whether you need to maybe go closer to a connection or open a door, maybe where your Wi-Fi is closer. Then we can hear you continuously. Otherwise, you're freezing in between. So um, if we could just check once before we go on, because we definitely want to listen to the whole story.
Oh dear. Does this work now?
Better.
Sorry, I just switched the connection, so hopefully it will be better
Yeah,
now.
I'm so sorry, because I'll stop you if the connections don't happen. Otherwise, what happens is we go through the whole evening, and then later when we look back, we feel, oh, we should have stopped for a minute.
I know.
So that's
No,
why
no.
yeah, please.
Uh, we're so dependent on this internet thing. I have like two, three different connections.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we were at where you were nervous and wondering whether people would come to the festival or not.
Yeah, actually, the very first session, okay, we were very excited. Publishers were really supportive. They sent authors, and there was me and there was my, colleagues. I had left DNA here, but my ex-colleagues were Parnita Shetty and Sonali, and we were three of us just terrifically excited about the whole thing. And the author came, the books were ready for sale, everything, and nobody came. We're like, oh my God, how embarrassing is this? And so then we literally, you know, went to the cafeteria and said, please, there's a session out there, you must join. And they're like, no, we want coffee. We're like, forget your coffee, come to the session. Because the author had come all the way from Bangalore. Uh, but I mean, it picked up. And by the time I did Kalagura for 4 years, and I believe, we played an important part in bringing this whole concept to Mumbai. And, it really began to grow. We did Kalagura in schools, telling schools, please invite authors. It's important. You
Yeah.
know, I'll tell you a little bit later why I think it's really important to meet an author. And yeah, so it grew, and eventually I launched my own festival, Peekaboo. So that's how it all started.
It's very interesting because I write for little children, but I write like curriculum and I write stories for them. And so many times when somebody used to tell me, it's a product, my heart used to break.
Right.
I used to tell them that if you're going to teach this like sell it like a product, don't sell it. Because if you don't know the soul of, and it's so important we take children to malls, we take children to, places which they're just anyway not interested. But if we actually send an invitation, like I was in Jodhpur also, and we were sending, there was this fest over there that happens called Kitabo, and initially it was such a battle, just to invite people to send the children. So if we do it during the early years, if we do it when the children are 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, that becomes a way for the child. So suppose it's an outing and you tell the child that today I'm going to take you to and also I feel there's an etiquette to a book reading. When you're doing a book reading, there's a certain way you behave, there's a certain way you sit and listen, there is a certain way you don't judge, and we learn it very late in life. Like I remember the first book reading I ever attended was when I was like a few years back. I had just never taken the trouble to go and listen to somebody reading out a small part or a gist. And I thought I'm going to request you to do that, because this is also, after you do it, we'll tell the parents and teachers why we want them to listen to just a gist.
Sure, sure.
So you
Absolutely.
can.
I would love to do that. Uh, I think, I mean, I'm doing this, but I think the author should do it. uh, I This is a really fun book by one of my favorite authors called Princess Easy Cheesy. Um, by Anna Sharma, and the pictures are by
Yeah.
yes. This story is about this little princess. Now, the princess, you would think, is a very well-behaved young lady, and is very, very much good about the do's and don'ts and everything. Now, this princess, definitely not. She is not your regular princess. In fact, she's quite the opposite. So, when she goes on a holiday to Hong Kong, she says, I don't want this milk. I want my milk from home. So her parents, her very indulgent parents, say, oh dear me, let us, make sure that next time we travel, we
We
will
can.
we'll do something about this. And so she says, I will not drink this milk. And the whole family is sort of saying, oh dear, now, we must make sure that next time we take care of this. And guess what they do? The next time they go, next time for their spring vacation, they went to China with this child. And then when they went to China, she went to China and she said, "Oh, I don't like these noodles. I want the noodles just like the ones we have at home." A royal packer was said, boss, you better do something about this. Next time, they took the cow and the chef. So the way it goes on is every time she goes somewhere, she says she misses something, and they have to keep filling the plane with, all the things that she wants that are familiar to her. And finally, the last time she goes somewhere and she says, I want the elephant from back home. And so then the royal packers was completely fed up. This is ridiculous. But they managed somehow to stuff that elephant into the plane. But elephants are not meant to be stuffed in the plane, and it fluffs up, and just boom. And so then the queen says, next time, no vacation at all. So then the princess got damn bored. She said, "Would like to travel." So they said, no, no, please, I want to go on vacation. So the mama said, okay, on one condition. And she said, when you go to Ladakh, to Tibet, the local food, wears the local costume, and generally finds that's pretty good fun too. That's Princess Easy Cheesy.
One time. How beautiful, how beautiful. So, I was just thinking that suppose this is like a book I've bought for my child, and I've put it like on the bed, and I have two ways to, deal with my child and say, today, book reading time. I am going to tell you the a story, and you have to give me some answers. All right. So, because there is always, so these days, what I also see is that many times books are being read for a reason. Children are being introduced to
Yeah.
books for better reading, good spelling, meanings. Um, Sometimes it's just nice to let them be, to just read for the sake of reading, just simply enjoying it and reading. So another thing that I come across, Vinod, is that it's a lot of judgmental, educational norms which we lay out. So when we grew, we would read anything and we would be okay with it. Our minds would not get, I mean, like, everything's become an issue now. So sometimes even when a person begins to write, I think is the person is not writing naturally. Have you come across something like this
Not
during and then?
structured. Reading is structured, writing is structured. You have to tick certain boxes off for it to be a good kind of a book or a good kind of writing. So, yes, I have come across this many times. And, this is one of the most important goals of Peekaboo. What we want to do at Peekaboo and have always done is to make this a day of family fun. you know what we do is I've always believed that you do something because the that activity makes you feel comfort or happiness or resonates with a special feeling you know
Yes,
so for me, some people, I mean, like, I think that when you want to get children to read a book, it's not about picking the right book or anything. It's about creating the right ambience where they're open to discovering books, basically. So at home, you allow them to build little, blanket tents, a little cave, where, that is their special time, special place, where they'll pick a book and go. And at Facebook, we do that. What we do is we create like a plethora of experiences, basically. It's not just author reading. We also do storytelling. We also do music. We also do theater. We also do art. So it's two things for me. I feel that children's books, for me, literature is an important part. It's not just, it's like you have performing arts, dance, theater, etc. Literature has as important a role in the, pantheon of arts as anything else. So I was very grateful to have that opportunity to present it at the Royal Opera House, where, I feel like children's books, they've got the space that they deserve, basically. And the second thing is that all art, feed off each other, give each other value. So if you use theater, music, everything, the book experience becomes very rich. And, it sort of brings the word alive in front of you, basically. So at the end of the day, I don't want kids to go back from Pick a Book and say, oh, Bapre, I had this heavy day, I had to read books. It was like, oh my God, I had so much fun, I want to come back again next year. You know, so that's the feeling that you have to associate with books. And the third thing is, I'm just a bit off sort of topic, but I feel it's really important for kids to meet an author because I feel that when a child meets an author, the book becomes more real to them. It's a personal connection as compared to like if you read a book and you say, Acha, I don't know who this person is, very far away. Then, for instance, you meet a Shabnam Minwala. She reads you her book. She says some, sweet things about you. She looks at the poem that you have written, and you'll be like, I want to read more of this. And then you go to the bookstore and say, please, can you give me a book by Shabnam Minwala? So it's the whole sort of a vague experience becomes really personal, and that is the main thing we attempt to do at our lit fest and now online, because I mean, sadly this year we don't have the physical festival, basically.
Yeah, and I think also, like when I heard, when you actually I saw you on the Facebook, and then I connected to what you do, and I've been just quietly watching you for the last couple of years, what you put up, or what you just express, and I thought that the fact that the child will, if you the not that other authors are not good, but we've grown with those authors, we've enjoyed, we've done, I mean, all of that. But even a small thing like the names that an Indian author will use in context, the child will not be eating an ice lolly, he may be just eating a baraf ka gola, or so a lot of times, I'm also noticing one thing very strong, especially with the digital, everything happening, is that children are speaking in accents which are not Indian. They are wanting to eat food which is not around us. They are asking for fruits and vegetables which are, one, not seasonal and extremely expensive. Now these are things happening in real life. We are watching children do all of this. So does it matter? Do you feel that if we expose the children to a little more, anything in context of the country, it kind of just helps the children to understand context a bit. Have you noticed any children during the festival actually look at somebody in awe and say, oh, have you experienced that?
Sonia, that's really an extremely relevant point. The fact is that we are, at least in urban India, exposed to a lot of international things, and our lifestyles are changing really radically, basically, in so many ways, in the way we eat, in the way we dress, in the language we speak at home, basically. You know, so there is that definitely. Now, books. And there are two things about books, basically. As I was telling you, books, as most people who will talk to you about reading, they will tell you books can be windows to another world, basically. So, I mean, I love Enid Blyton. I loved my little,
Oh yes.
cute little picnics and everything. It was a window into another world, basically. But books also act as mirrors. So it's really important to expose children to books that mirror their reality around them. The settings that are familiar to them, the names, as you say, that are familiar to them, the different kinds of representations of so many different kinds of people that are part of India. And I'm not just talking diversity, but I'm also talking about children with learning disabilities, or children that may not be seen in mainstream books, basically. So those kind of realities, it's significantly important for children to see that
Yeah.
I am in this book, therefore I exist.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a validation of our existence. It's like, it's a funny thing. If you're watching an animation movie nowadays, I always look at the end titles because some Indian will be there, you know, at the end of the animation title. And then you get very excited. You're like, hey, you know what? Somebody in Pune did some animation for, Captain America or something like that. The same way, if you see yourself in books, you feel validated, you feel good about yourself. And also, secondly, up to now, most of our books have been about traditional stories, like the Panchatantra or something like that, which many children may not relate to. So, the thing I like to do is expose children to books about contemporary India, which is part of their world. So, they are likely to pick it up and read it because it relates to them, right? So, for instance, Shabnam, I was talking about, this is a book called, it's for older kids. It's called What Maya Saw. It's a book set in Bombay. It's a mystery. Then there is this amazing Vinita Coelho. She's just excellent. She's an award winner. This is All of Me, about a book about this kid who was in in England, actually, but an Indian. It's the story of the Kohinoor diamond, basically. So there are, you get really happy to know when you pick up a book, you'll just relate to it. if it's contemporary, if it's a setting that you understand and feel like, wow, this could be me, setting off on an adventure.
Yeah, now that you're saying this to me, I realize that I was just um, going through the stories in normally books, curriculums that we put. So there's certain number of words we have to put in. There's certain flow lines that you have to put in. And as I'm just listening to you, I'm realizing that my God, we need to change it. There are things we need to change. And unless we are going to expose ourselves to it as parents, as educators, perhaps that's the time we'll start thinking change. So that's another thing that I have been talking to parents and to people about is that हमारा बच्चा पढ़ता नहीं है मैडम, पढ़ाएंगे कैसे हम उनको? So how do you make a child read is a very very big problem. Now related with that, when you deal with authors, so we have been talking about how to make the child read. So I keep telling them, if you're on the phone all the time, your kid's going to do exactly the same and ask you for another mobile. But when you meet authors, and they meet children and they meet parents, I'm sure there's some feedback, something that they feel that, we wrote a book, when we were younger, we used to have a literature teacher who used to say there has to be appreciation. So we used to look at them and say, oh, another paragraph to write. But today I understand it better. Do you ever, is there any experience, any author who's ever spoken to you about this?
So I'll tell you, universally, all authors, um, children are scary. I mean, they have no filters. If they like your books, they'll say, wow, they'll just love it. If they don't, they'll be sitting right in front of you and go, wow. So it's a litmus test when you go out there to do these readings, to see if your books are things that connect with readers or not. So yeah, I can plenty of authors have had plenty of experiences that will share. But I think universally, all authors will tell you that a good book reading is enriching for both the child who has, who is now. And usually, what happens with these book readings is it's a sampler of the book. So the child gets curious, they want to know more about it, they understand that, okay, this is the kind of book. So they'll say, I kind of think I like this book, or they'll say, I don't like this book. It's a sample, without them having to pick it up and read it, basically.
I'll
And
have to be very careful when you invite me into your fest.
why? Oh my goodness, you're just brilliant.
You know? Yeah,
Yeah.
but what you're saying is so true. I when I write, when I say that it's been tested by the children.
Literally.
Somebody asks me, what is the accreditation? Who is giving your series or your books a go ahead? Which organization or whatever. So I said, well, the kids like it.
That's it.
So I haven't looked for, and I know that technically I try not to, give children which things which are also the language that we use. We're all cautious as people who write, right? So my accreditation is this child, like you said, smiling at you and saying, also now, means the
That,
story is going well.
yeah. So that's exactly the thing, you go out there and okay, this book is working, this is not working. Maybe it's the setting that's not working. Not every time that you make a connection with an audience.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But over a period, you figure it out, basically, that what's going on.
Yeah, like very recently, not recently, maybe about a year, 2 years back, I was in one of these book fests, and there was an author narrating a story, and it was about this ant who sat on the leaf and and said, "I can fly." I like finished reading this so many years back. I got it, and so it's an author. She's an author called Vinitha. Sharp, very very bright eyes, and I was just passing through. I was not really sitting down and listening to her, But when she said, and then the ant wanted to fly and she sat on the leaf, and I said, oh my God, my heart stopped for a minute. And I said, my God, what a beautiful way. And this is what I also tell parents when somebody is asking me, how do you inculcate reading? I think to inculcate reading, you have to create an excitement to pick up a book. You have to want to read it, you know. I mean, that's what I feel about it. Manpreet, can I also request you to pick up a book which is your favorite? You would be having a lot of favorite authors, so this is absolutely no disrespect to any author at this point of time. For a little child, obviously, because we can't ask our guests to read 20 books, I'm just going to ask her. There was this beautiful way she did this gist of a book. So I'm going to request her for one, and whichever author she chooses, we will, start looking for all the ones that you have not chosen today, so that it creates that little curiosity.
But before we do that, I just want to tell you there's a very simple and very basic motivation to read, uh, which I think applies to me, and I think it applies to all kids. Is that to wonder कि फिर क्या हुआ? You know, that is, if you can get the kid excited enough to say what happens next, then it's enough. You know, that's all that matters. Like when my children were small, I would pick up a book and I would read the first page and I would just summarize it. And then they would say, what will happen then? So I said, now you read it, you know. So that's basically, it's a very basic human instinct. It's not any great literature or anything like that. You just want to know what happens next, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that those things are really important. And I also feel that it should be associated with a special time, with a special person. So if you sit together and read with your child, then that when they grow up and they read, it'll be a happy place to go to. Okay, I used to sit with my mom and read books, you know. And the very important thing to understand that not all children are readers, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and that's okay, you know, they get their information from other sources, basically. But anyway, as much as you can, the thing to do is to understand what is it that, you know, clicks a button in your child's brain. Is it poetry? Is it graphic novels? Is it fiction? Is it
Oh, is it
philosophy?
this comics? You remember, when we were all younger, we used to pay 25 paisa for a comic, and then you would read it, your friend would read it, your friend's friend would read it in 25 paisa, and you would go back the next day, give that 25 paisa feeling totally satisfied. Five of us read this.
Absolutely.
Do you recollect the kind of and Amar Chitra Kathas, the phantoms, it was like another world we lived in. So what I also see today that while the digital, so during the pandemic, it was very interesting that every publisher just opened their hearts out during that initial time. They gave so much of resource, just it was just there in the open, and I don't know how many people really picked it up. When I'm actually talking to children, talking to parents, that aapne ye kara, did you do this? So instead of that, you were buying them. It was like a big world of reading. I really don't know, 10 months down, have people really picked up books? There were beautiful books that were available during this time. There were launches happening. I don't know how many children actually sat there and enjoyed this. So,
The pandemic was a strange time, you know. By the time we figured out what was going on, you know, there was an onslaught of stuff online. Then it
yeah.
got too much, you know. So yeah, it was tough, but the trend towards online resources has continued. I mean, as you see on our Peekabook social media handles, do you mind if I mention it
No, not at all.
at Peekabook Lit Fest on Instagram and Facebook? We continue to put information which is really close to my heart to let people know what are the new releases in Kidlit. You know,
Yeah.
every month there are tons of books that are getting published. So we like to share information about them, told by the authors themselves, basically. So we dedicate 1 week to, it's called Nuka News, new release in Kidlet, basically. So there's still a lot of stuff happening. Of course, luckily you get to pick and choose between what you'd like to do.
Yeah. No, also, the reason why I invite somebody like you is because you're not writing these books. It's not for you, right? You're not doing it because of a reason of anything. You're doing it simply for the sharing.
Yeah, totally.
That's what this whole Square Panda, it was beautiful, when this team started working, and they asked me to, kind of support the show and host it if for a couple of weeks. The most beautiful thing that the organization told me was, don't worry about uh, what kind of a person. There's no slot, because the community has all kinds of people. And I think that's what we are all trying to build. Even when you build and you call in authors, there may be authors who are writing for the first time. There may be authors who are extremely nervous. There may be author who, for them, selling that one book, the first book where you sign, means the world to them. So I think it's very, very important for parents, teachers. I'm also, there are a lot of teachers who watch our show, and I tell them that please note all these places where you can recommend to parents ki jaake 15 minute, maybe once in a week, see, look through, sift through what they're saying. And after I spoke with you 2-3 days back, I realized how ill-equipped I am with my list of books. So I'm coming back to visit your thing more often, and we will. So one little. So we can do that little bit of the reading, which the yes,
Okay.
please.
I don't want to do more than the reading. Okay, this is, I just show you some of the books that
All right.
fun, basically. This is not a new book. It's Oluguti Toluguti, but why I'm saying this is it's fun rhymes from across India.
Oh,
Because typically we go with, hey diddle diddle and whatever, the usual. But this one is like rhymes from so many different languages, and they're really great fun. They're like up through the peacock and sat on my fingers. And I twirled it around with a swirly swirl and a whirly whirl. I'll teach the peacock a guitar dance. So, I mean, there's loads, there's Telugu, there's Tamil, there's all kinds of fun rhymes in it.
yeah. So this is a beautiful one. I have to, also we were talking in the new education policy. They're talking of multilingual approaches to
Yes,
learning.
yes,
And I have been telling everybody that an NEP doesn't just appear out of the blue. You don't just wave the wand and whoa, it comes out. It comes out because through these last years, this kind of literature is being written, this kind of literature is being responded to. Children are responding to things like this. So they have actually put, so that 66 page of documentation, 33 pages for the early years, has a lot of depth to what you are going to show us.
yeah,
So this is like one of the most.
yeah. Oh, yeah, there's tons. So it's really important to know that some of the really good publishers like Tulika or like Pratham, or there's an absolutely wonderful publisher called Eklavya Pitara, which is
Yes.
yeah, Hindi book. So they do bilingual books, and that's really wonderful because so many of us still, first language of communication ends up being English. So if you have, a regional language with English, it just becomes that much more easier for us to
Yes.
switch languages, basically. Some of the other publishers, Fairy Tales, we have uh, Tara, huge favorite of mine. You know, so these are some of the few publishers. There is Tota Books in Delhi, um, and
Yeah.
there is oh my goodness, I should have got my list of publishers. But okay,
Right. No, but how beautiful.
a
Okay.
hugely favorite character of mine, Gajapati Kulapati. He's a really cute, friendly elephant. by Ashok Gopalan. Uh, uh, Tattva books, my goodness, yes. This is an old one, but they keep coming out with some fabulous books.
Which
Geeta,
one is this?
this one is a Dinosaur 127 Children Blog. I only have the Hindi one for some strange reason. But Geeta Dharmarajan, she's a wonderful author. You know, I'm showing you the early learning ones because I think you might be more interested in that. And the illustrations are just fabulous.
Beautiful.
Uh, Okay, then this is one of my favorites, you know. Not very little, not very well known, but this is the man Riddles of Amir Khusro by Ankit Chadda, who unfortunately he was a Dastan Goy, you know, practitioner, and sadly he passed away. But he gave these lovely, you know, little riddles. Uh, so,
You can actually tell us. Um, yes, read one of it for us.
one cottage that has two gates. If one is shut, the other waits. Sister says, if the property's so hot, beautiful views from both sides, it's got. What do you think that is?
Oh,
Okay, I.
the eyes. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and it's got lovely illustrations and, you know, fun stuff.
Yeah,
It's very
beautiful.
difficult for me to choose.
No, 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 no. The reason why I asked you to show us a few books is that for me, I'm experiencing the wonder of what I thought I would experience.
I'm so
You
glad
know,
to hear.
so because I always feel none of us know everything. I mean, that is why I drink off my cup of tea to sit with you, because I need an empty cup to fill up.
Ah, and I have still so much to learn from you. I mean, it's
No,
always
because every day, every Sunday, it's been, this is the 29th, 28th session, I think, 28th or 29th session, and it's 29 continuous Sundays, So every Sunday, we sit down, we think, I do a backdrop. I could just take printouts, and put them up, but I hand make every single backdrop, all my 29, because if I don't take the soul of the person coming to speak to us, I feel I haven't done you justice.
very
I think it's important to understand that. And just 2 days back, I was with the school, and the principal came down to receive me, and I looked at her and I said, thank you so much. You didn't need to do this. So sometimes you wonder, where this I know it all comes. And I want children to feel this wonder, to feel the texture, to feel in spite of so much of digital world, I think it's very beautiful to sit down with books. I think the illustration comes alive. Um, you experience it so much more beautifully. Like, for example, if I'm reading a book on the digital platform, it's another good thing, but I'm unable to go back and forth like I do in with my books. That whole, so nothing against digital, but I would want children to,
absolutely. Uh,
little marks, like, this is my daughter's, and it's her signature on this.
oh my.
So it's this, a friend's note to her on this. And for me, and how I see it as a little early years educator, but it's a social emotional development that we are talking about also. We are finding restless children. We are finding children who want everything very, very quick. You and me, if you remember, we would iron out the dog ears
Yeah.
patiently, and that's how the whole wonder of what we do comes out. So I'm looking at everybody saying that they've enjoyed this session. It's been a beautiful time. It's imagine we've been chatting for about 45 minutes.
I want to answer a question from
Yes,
Vital. Is that okay?
yes, please, please.
he wants a list of books to read for 5-year-olds.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah.
Tons and tons, but I want to recommend some authors, if that's okay. Um,
Please,
I
please
think
do.
you should try Anushka Ravi Shankar. Yeah. So some of the authors that write for 5-year-olds, Indian authors, are Lavanya Karthik, Nandini Nair. Um, you have Natasha Sharma. You have Anushka Ravi Shankar. You have Devangana Dash, and Asha Nehmaya, Nalini Sorensen.
Please.
I guess there are too many, but give it a shot. Some of the authors that you could write,
Oh,
you could
she's
read
saying
with.
slow, please. You know what we do? What you need to do is go to Pick a Book and take a list from Lubena herself. All right. So don't worry about that. Today, what happened was I was setting up this whole, the books, and behind me there was a book that I received from somebody who works with the early, childhood, education, Swati ji, and I actually sent her a picture, and I said this was not done out of purpose of or a thing, but I just saw it there, and I said I have to share it with you because every book added on is strength, you know. So the next week, we're going to have somebody very interesting, and it's going to be invitations and to children to learn.
Oh,
So
wow.
somebody who's the next week, of course, I consolidate, which is next week is my 30th session. So we consolidate what we do every 10th session is that the 10 speakers, the 9 speakers who spoke, I make notes. That's why today I was making my notes. So
Okay.
I take, so my 30th session will have 29 tips from people who came on to the shows.
Oh my, wow.
This rapid round, and imagine when I'm making my notes, how much learning it is for me, So thank you so much. It's been an honor, a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. You're
And
doing an amazing job. Really brilliant.
yeah, this is like I just felt, Almena, that it's such a beautiful platform this organization has given us, and it has to be shared. There is no other way to do this. And thank you for the grace of all the speakers who are coming up. Thank you so much. Thank you, and bye bye.
Square, square, panda.